prison system that the United States has perpetuated for the last 100+ years doesn't work because it's not sustainable. It's made it up until this point, but that does not mean that it will work indefinitely. It's rapidly approaching its terminus, and here's why. Simply put, the U.S. incarcerates a lot of people. In 2022, approximately 2 million people were incarcerated in county jails, prisons, juvenile facilities, or immigration facilities. In fact, the U.S. is the most highly incarcerated nation in the world. The more people you put in prison, the more staff you need to provide for their custody, care, and control. And that is what correctional officers, case managers, and prison administrators are paid to do. The more people you put in prison, the more staff you need. Herein lies the problem. The environment inside a prison, the workplace environment, is so toxic that staff recruitment and retention is becoming a real problem. In fact, it's approaching crisis status in the U.S. 23 years ago, a study was done. Experts found that the turnover rate among correctional officers was what they called an alarmingly high 16%. Last year, the turnover rate for correctional officers was 30%. 30% are quitting or retiring, and we're having to find new people to hire and train to provide for the custody, care, and control of people who are already incarcerated. Now, why are people not just staying in the corrections field for their whole career? Corrections fatigue. Corrections fatigue refers to a set of post-traumatic stress type symptoms that almost universally are experienced by correctional officers within a very short time of coming onto the job. There are things like hypervigilance, difficulty sleeping, emotional numbness, intrusive, unwanted, unpleasant thoughts or memories, panic attacks, feelings of helplessness, difficulty controlling anger. These things are compromising the mental, physical, emotional, relational health of correctional officers. And the workplace environment is adding to that. It's not just the actual dangers associated with the job. In fact, correctional officers have a life expectancy of 59 years. 77 years old is the national average life expectancy for someone who does not spend their career in corrections. Do you think that new recruits are signing an agreement at hiring saying that they're willing to trade 18 years of their life in order to have this job? In addition to that, divorce rates are very high. Rate of alcoholism, very high. And every week, on average, 3 correctional officers, either active duty or retired, die by suicide. These things matter to me. The well-being of correctional officers matters to me because I'm the mother of an incarcerated individual, not a corrections officer. My child is under the supervision of a CO, and I hope that that CO is physically and mentally well. My kid's life is not going to be improved at the expense of corrections staff. That same toxic environment in which the correctional officers are working, my kid and other incarcerated individuals are living, and it's having the same negative impact on their physical health, mental health, emotional health, relational health. So while there are very different goals, prison residents have one set of goals and prison staff have very different goals in many regards. They also have shared goals. They live in what Prison Care Incorporated refers to as a prison neighborhood. A prison neighborhood is made up of these very different people groups living side by side 24/7. They're just wearing 2 different uniforms, but they're all experiencing the negative impact of the toxic environment inside a prison. The shared goals that the residents and the staff have are things like the desire for physical safety, the provision of their basic needs, the chance to be physically healthy, the opportunity to be mentally well, to experience personal growth, and to find fulfillment in their days. These are shared goals. It doesn't matter which uniform you're wearing. Everyone inside a prison neighborhood wants and needs those things. And that's why at Prison Care Incorporated, we're setting forth a new model for advocacy. We're not advocating for the prisoners at the expense of the staff, nor are we advocating for the staff at the expense of the prisoners. It's time for a new paradigm. No more us versus them. No more zero-sum game. One group does not have to lose for the other to win. And all it takes from us on the outside is for us to care enough to be a part of the change.